Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Derek Mitchell, and topic of the day is cheap, cheap, cheap. You know what? Since I've been working in a different industry for the last couple of years, I haven't had the same income level I did, and had to dealing with debts and managing my money a lot more efficiently than I had previously. So I've become a little bit smarter about the way I spend my money, and also, evaluating the dollar. So, what is it that you can do? And there's all kinds of methods that we all use to improve our financial situation. So obviously there's income and outgo, and those are the two areas that you can improve upon. Of course, when you make more income, you pay more taxes, and that's something to consider. So one of the most effective ways is to manage the money that's coming into the house effectively. And that's what I've done, and that's what I want to talk about. I'm going to keep it as quick as I can, but I was pondering what I can do further to improve the situation, thinking like I want to be cheaper, cheaper, cheaper. But there's certain things that I will not do without, assuming I have the income to pay for it. Of course, if I didn't have the money to pay for it, then I'm not going to do it. So there's items in your household, and every household has the same thing. Now, I'm a single guy, but there's families who can do even better about managing their money. So first thing is bulk buying. If you have a lot of things that you use on a regular basis, look for a good deal and then stock up on those items when you have an opportunity at good pricing. As far as saving, start off by putting a certain amount of money or percentage of your income each time you get money, whether it be on a weekly or monthly basis. Put a certain amount of that money in a savings account that you're not able to touch. It's called pay yourself first. So pay yourself first on an income level. Good way to start accumulating without hopefully realizing that you're not missing the money, whether it be, as far as what I do, I put $20 a paycheck. That's $10 a week. That's a simple way, and $10 a week is $500 a year plus whatever interest you accumulate. So $500 doesn't seem like a lot of money, but really, is $10 a week something you can't manage? If you have double incomes, perhaps you can even do better. But a lot of people recommend a percentage, so 10% of your net income. I wouldn't say of your gross, of your net. So if you get $1,000 in a paycheck, you put $100 away, or $50. If you can't manage 100, whatever it is, just keep it consistent. And if you can increase it going forward, do that. When you're looking at things that you can avoid spending money on, look at all your utilities and find out ways you can improve the amount of expenses on your utilities. Now, there's some utilities that are difficult to improve on, but utilities such as cable television, um, internet, I don't know what other sort of we call variable utilities that perhaps on cable you could have a lower price package. If you're bundling, maybe you can make a deal with the company that you're bundling your utilities with. Um, what else? If you have off times of where your utilities cost more than and less. So with us, electricity and natural gas is the same price all the time, but electricity costs are time of day. So usually in the middle of the day, it's during the week is the most expensive, and on weekends and after 7 at night is the cheapest. So if you have some tasks that you need to perform that are more costly electricity wise, then you could time those for the time of night where, or the time of day, whether it be the weekend, where things are less expensive, and do the laundry, whatever it is, or vacuuming, or whatever it is that uses a lot of electricity. Don't do it during the expensive periods. So here's a book that I got a few years ago, which I haven't looked at until lately, but I thought we'd talk about some of the concepts in it. And this is here. I'm going to bring it up here if I can find the way. America's Cheapest Family. Um, Gets you right on the money, they call it. And this has been a few years. I don't even know if the book's available anymore. But it's by Steve and Annette Icahn. I can't pronounce her last name, but it's like economics, but IDES on the end. So basically, they give you concepts about what you can do to improve, especially for families, but single people, definitely some concepts that can work. So first one here is lunch meat. Don't buy prepackaged lunch meat. The prices are too expensive based on packaging. What you do is you look for, they call it chubs of lunch meat. It's a large chunk of processed and cooked ham, turkey, and other meat products that you can buy in bulk. So that's what I was mentioning earlier. What's next? So warehouse stores. Now there's things like Costco, the Walmart superstores, those kind of things that you can buy bulk items for cheaper. But be aware of the costs of those items that you're going to buy. If you buy bread, I mean, on my diet I don't use bread, but if you buy it and freeze it. Buy it cheaper. Buy it in bulk when you get a good price for it. Um, they're saying that you shouldn't shop in one store, and I think you need to look at what the pricing is in the one store versus another. And it depends on the neighborhood you live in. If you live out in the country where there is only one store, that might not be an option for you. But if you're in a larger city or you're in an area where you have competing grocery stores, you may want to go to 2 or 3 different ones and put a list together for each of those stores to what's appropriate. One of the things that I think they mentioned this in this book as well is only shop once a week or once a month, and try not to go to the store as much, because the more you go, the more you're going to buy. So you want to keep it to a minimum. Obviously, the bulk items that are not that don't go bad, you're going to have to buy a little more frequently. But the big items, don't be going to the store much more than once a week or once every couple of weeks if you can. The fresh items, you may need to go a little more frequently, but try to keep it to twice a week for those items as well, because the more you go, the more temptations you have to spend money. Coupons. They talk about using coupons. It's a good thing to do if you're shopping regularly for things. Just be looking online, or be looking online is where a lot of the coupons are now. So hopefully you have a computer and you can do that, or a cell phone or something where you can actually download the coupon, or you can just show it to them in the store and they can read the barcode. Buy a freezer. I've done that myself. Buy a freezer, and when you get meats on sale, you want to bulk stock up on them. Any kind of thing that you need to stock up on, get a freezer that will hold the amount of food that's appropriate for your living situation. Stock up on sale items. That's what I was saying. If something's a cheap price and you know you're going to use it, don't just buy something because it's cheap. Buy it if it's appropriate for your household situation. Eating leftovers. A lot of people throw out a lot of food when they're because they're done with it, but you can make it into different kind of dishes. Some of the leftovers that you might have, depending on what you're making. If you make a roast, if you make other kinds of foods where you can use the scraps in a stew, or in some kind of additional dish. Don't be throwing out things that are usable. Sometimes you have families where there's members of the family, and this is sort of individual, but that are picky eaters. One suggestion is just don't allow that, because you can't make like 5 different meals for 5 different people. Just create a meal, and that's what the house will be eating. Seasonal produce. Don't just buy what looks good. And this is something which I've done. When you buy some vegetables, sometimes you're tempted to just buy the nicest looking. If there's a little bruising here or there, if it's a lot cheaper, then buy the bruised vegetables. Look at things that are appropriate for what you're doing. If you're just putting it into a stir fry, or if you're just putting it into a slow cooker, then why do you need it to look pretty? As long as it's a good vegetable, and it's not like too. You can just cut out the bruised area and use the rest of it, especially if it's like half price or something like that. Always look for bruised vegetables when you have a dish like that you're creating. Now, if it's something where you need to be awfully pretty or something like that, then you might want to consider some of the nicer fruit or vegetables. I wouldn't unless you need to. So that's just a few ideas from the book. I would suggest you take a look at it. I don't know if they still have it available online. The website that they're on is, and I'm just there now, is moneysmartfamily.com. And they give you all kinds of tips for free on their website as well. moneysmartfamily.com, www.moneysmartfamily.com. What can we do as far as other things that we do in our household? So you can, as far as temperature goes, if you're natural gas heating or some other kind of heating, oil heating, and it's expensive, you can determine when the time is to turn the temperature down in the house. If it's winter, or if it's summer, don't use the air conditioning as much. There's a lot of people who just will keep it there because they want to be comfortable instead of putting on a layer of clothing. Sometimes it's easier just to put a layer of clothing on or a blanket and just live with it for a little while, and instead of heating the house up to a temperature where you're going to cost a lot of money in the cold months. Your winter heating costs and fueling costs get really expensive. So these are other ways to save some money. Me myself, I've reduced my heat in the house at night when I go to sleep. I also and it's natural gas heating. I also keep it lower during the day when I'm at work. When I come home, I'll turn it up a little bit, then I'll turn it off. Now I know it's a little bit of work, but it's worth it in the end because if you're consistent with it, you can save a significant amount of money in your winter months fuel bills. So utilities, again, if you have a cable bill that's high, you may want to look at a lower package. I know that necessarily the family might not like it. Uh, Myself, I don't have cable at all. I have an over-the-air antenna. When I have a high-definition television, I have an over-the-air antenna, and that's all as far as live TV, that's all I do. Anything else, I watch from other sources like iTunes or over the web, and that is a lot more useful. There's a lot of networks out there who offer free over-the-web um, TV programs or movies. You can lots of content out there for whatever you're looking for. So that's internet is a big one too. And you got to look, shop around for a good package for your internet. Obviously, you want to have the appropriate bandwidth for whatever your household is. Myself, as I mentioned, I'm single, but I don't have unlimited bandwidth, but I have a good package that's relatively inexpensive. One of the big ones a lot of households suffer with is cell phone costs. And this is an area that, while it may not be the most convenient, if you're struggling financially, this is an area you can probably cut the cell phone bill in half. Now, you may have to break the contract. Here in Canada, to be able to break a contract with a cell phone company, you got to pay whatever remaining cost of the phone you got on contract would be, plus a $50 charge. And that's it. So you can get out of the contract. Once you get out of the contract, you can either just have no cell phone service, or you can go with a prepaid service where you only buy time when you need it, and you don't have any data on the phone, and you only use Wi-Fi when you're in a location that might have free Wi-Fi, or you use Wi-Fi at home on the phone. Now, again, you got to look at what's more important, saving some money or having the service of the phone. If you're running a business or you actually have a need for a cell phone to have data on it, and when you go into customers' homes or something like that, or businesses, or you're doing some other kind of work where you need data, then you'll keep it. But you need to evaluate what's appropriate for you. Lots of different ways. Now, I have priorities. My internet's important to me. I don't need cable. I have, like I said, over-the-air antenna that I bought for $30. Put it up on the roof, and it handles a lot of over-the-air high-quality channels when it's a high-def. If you have a high-def TV with a tuner, um, electricity we talked about, heating we talked about, and just trying to think what else can we look at. Now, groceries, again, you want to make sure you buy them at the best price you can. Don't be going out and buying a lot of coffees. Make your coffee at home before you go to your work or your school. Tea, whatever it is you're making for drinks. Don't be buying things at vending machines. Um, Bring your lunch. Bring whatever meal you need to bring with you. Don't be buying it at a restaurant. Clearly, those are one of the most expensive ways to feed yourself. If you have if you do eat out too much, it's going to cost you a lot more money in the long run. Also, there are some places you can eat relatively inexpensively, but keep them to a minimum. You want to be able to know the quality of the food you're eating as well. So how can you save money? There's a lot of different ways I've mentioned. And if you do have any questions, my email address is niagaraedge@gmail.com. My name is Derek Mitchell. Thanks for spending some time with me today talking about being cheap, talking about money, saving money, how you do it. And check out that website. Like I said, moneysmartfamily.com. And actually, with my bank, they offered a free book. The Wealthy Barber is what it's called. The Wealthy Barber was a book out, I don't know, 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago now. He's just come back with a new book called The Wealthy Barber Returns. And I'm just reading it on ebook, but they gave a free ebook away through my bank, which is Tangerine here in Canada. And I'm just reading through it. The Wealthy Barber, really good basic financial planning concepts. I would suggest you go just look up Wealthy Barber Returns and try to see if your financial institution offers you a free version. It is a Canadian book. Financial concepts are very sound, though, and David Chilton is his name. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you very soon.